Hey guys, it's YodaJoe93. I had a very busy weekend working at the cinema because of the Batman, so I did not get to make my non-spoiler review over the weekend. But that's because all my 190 fans that we have reached yesterday, I have a treat for you guys. This movie means so much to me. I need to make this video as long as possible so you guys can understand just how big of a deal this movie is and why I love it so much. But before we do that, I have a treat for you guys. If you guys have been following the trailers for the Batman, or you're a Nirvana fan, Nirvana has a very popular limelight in comic movies today. They had a new song in Black Widow. Well, not new song, but they did their own version of Team Spirit, which is super dope and super cool. So, in honor of this, because Matt Reeves has said, oh, also check out that sick bucket, guys. You guys did not like that bucket. So, this is my sick bucket. I have the cowl and I have this one. It's pretty dope. But that's a story for another time. Alright, without further ado, we're going to sing one of the most pivotal songs to the movie, The Batman, to get hyped for this review. Because this will be one of the greatest reviews you will ever watch. And I think you guys are going to love it. We're going to go into depth into so many things. Even though I've had really good reviews, I'm putting my heart and soul into this because if you guys don't know, Batman is my favorite comic book character. I like him more than any Marvel character. There's a reason Moon Knight is one of my most anticipated shows because it is literally like Marvel's Batman. So this is a huge deal, guys. As a DC fan, Batman being my favorite character, there has been no definitive version of this character until now. And I am so excited to talk about all of this stuff, guys. It's going to be amazing. So, further ado, let's start singing. Something in the Way by Nirvana. Something in the way. Here we go, guys. Come on. Get ready. Gotta wait for the word. Something in the way. Underneath the bridge. Top that has sprung a leak. And the animals I've trapped have all become my pets, and I'm living off the grass and the drippings from my ceiling. It's okay to eat fish, 'cause they don't have any feelings. Let me turn this up real quick. There's something in the way. Something in the way, yeah. Something in the way. Something in the way, yeah. Something in the way. Something in the way, yeah. Beneath the bridge, has sprung a leak, and the animals I trapped have become my friends, and I'm living off the grass, the drippings from my ceiling. It's okay to eat fish, 'cause they don't have any feelings. Something in the way. Something in the way. Yeah. Something in the way. Something in the way. Yeah. Yeah. in the Way. Alright, guys. That was our song, Something in the Way, by Nirvana, hyping us up for this movie. Because, holy fuck, guys, Nirvana song is in this movie. It is in it twice, and it is one of the most incredible mainstream rock songs added into a movie, and it fits so well. So, guys, without further ado, like the Riddler said in the trailers on the movie, let's play a game, just me and you. Let's make a review, just me and you. Alright, so here we go, guys. I'm so excited to talk about this movie with you guys. Alright, there are so many things to talk about. So let's talk about the tone first. So, similar to the Nolan movies, this movie is dark as fuck. It is not an MCU movie. It is not a DC Extended Universe movie where there is some light humor and whatever. You got character interactions that can be sometimes, that gives more levity than typical stuff. But this is a dark and gritty detective story. Similar to Seven, similar to The Zodiac Killer, similar to Chinatown. Like, this is like if all those movies made a baby and had it, this is exactly what it is. This is the Batman movie we have been waiting for. The definitive Batman movie. It is a detective story. And unlike previous Batman movies, our Batman, Robert Pattinson, is in the suit 90% of the time. And he's the lead character. Unlike the Nolan movies, Joker doesn't come in and take his thunder away. You know, you got Ben Affleck in his movies where Superman just comes out and, you know, Superman's the lead, but Batman's the supporting character. No, this is the Batman, bitch. And in the Batman, we're talking about the Batman on my shirt. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about all these different things. So, number one, we're going to talk about the characters. So we talked about the tone. It's dark. It's really good. There's some levity. There's some characters. So let's talk about each character, and then we'll talk about the film itself. Alright, so first thing we're going to talk about, let's talk about the Riddler first. And this will be a non-spoiler review, so I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on each of these characters, how they stack up to the comics, what I liked about their portrayals in this movie. Alright, first on the list is Carmine Falcone. Carmine Falcone was a surprise, to be sure, in this movie, but as Star Wars fans know, it is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, says Palpatine. So in that regard, Carmine Falcone, played by John Turturro, aka the man who is known for being laughed at in the Transformers movies. This man was a straight-up mobster gangster, and if you guys have not watched Long Halloween before the Batman, I highly recommend watching the Long Halloween animated movies before, because there's some great Long Halloween stuff in this movie. So you gotta definitely watch Long Halloween first, or read Long Halloween, so you understand the story. Because Carmine Falcone is one of those things that they take straight from Long Halloween, and John Turturro's performance is great. He's cold, he's menacing, he's like an evil Hugh Hefner who just is like, he can have anything he wants to build Gotham himself. People call him weak. He's not weak, he's strong. And he knows he's strong. So he's a threat. And he sees himself as just that, a threat. And there's big twists with him coming up into play. But yeah, Carmine Falcone, absolutely loved him. I thought his arc was fantastic. You got the Penguin, who's his right-hand man, which we'll get into later. But this was super cool. He was like the kingpin of the universe. He built his wood. He has friendships with everyone in this. He shares scenes with Batman. Well, not Batman specifically, but yeah, Batman and Bruce Wayne. He's made both scenes with, and did a phenomenal job. Really crafted it. Really loved it. Next up, gotta talk about the Riddler. Okay, Paul Dano's Riddler in this movie. There are people saying that his performance is greater than Heath Ledger's. Now, you don't want to hold a bar to anyone's performance, because Heath Ledger was playing a Joker that he nearly died to play. This character is a different take on the Riddler. He's using social media to influence all his people. He's a serial killer in the most straight up way. This movie is fucking PG-13, and they push the boundaries of the PG-13 rating the best that they can, because this dude is so insane. Like, his plans, his riddles. This is truly, they really focus on, this movie is like, it's not let's have the good guy beat up the bad guy whenever he can. This is, like I said, and I'm going to say this a lot, it is a detective movie. The Riddler does things, he commits murder, but then he leaves clues. And interesting enough, his clues are all left for Batman. Because he wants people to know that Batman, and him, they think that they're the same people. They see different in each other's minds. They're doing the same thing for justice in their way. But that's not exactly true here. Okay, so that's first off here. So the Riddler, loved him. Can't wait to see more. Love what they did with him. Love Paul Dano's Riddler. Definitely top 3 DC villains for me. He's very good. Very, very good. I will rank my DC villains later this week. We're going to be ranking a lot of different characters this week, but I want you guys to know that. Alright, next up, this is going to be the one that I have the most to say about, but also the least amount to say about. Let's talk about Alfred. Okay, so Andy Serkis has worked with Matt Reeves before, and unfortunately Andy Serkis isn't in a lot of this movie, but when he's on screen, holy fuck is he good in this movie, guys. He is so good. There's one scene with him and Bruce in the hospital. It's brilliant acting. He plays Alfred differently than previous Alfreds. Like, he's not the loving, kind Alfred. Like, he's an Alfred who believes he tried to be Bruce's father and he failed. And he's trying to help make him better, do anything he can to make life better for Bruce. And he even helps him, as Batman, he helps him kind of deal with these riddles and, like, figure out the answers to it. And so it's very cool because I would love to see more of this Alfred. I thought it was utilized very well in this one. Hopefully next movie we get to see him more badass and more realized, like, because we didn't get a lot of action with him. It'd be cool to see him, like, in the comics where Alfred, like, headbutts Superman. It'd be cool to see people break into the Batcave and he just starts beating up people. But that's for another time. We'll talk about sequel plans in the next video. But for now, let's keep talking about these. Alright, so Alfred, great. Another great addition in this movie. And we're going to talk about that too, how this movie takes so many different characters and so many different storylines. And it's a 3-hour movie, nearly. But it balances all of this to perfection. So we got that next. Alright, so next up, let's talk about Selina Kyle, guys. Selina Kyle, played by Zoe Kravitz. Holy crap. This is the most definitive version of Catwoman that we've ever gotten, guys. She's amazing. Her story is great. You understand kind of where they're going from. They kind of approach her as more of a bi character, which is okay because it's not the forefront of the movie. It's in the story, and it worked very well. But then it's kind of pushed to the side because of the fact that there's other things that are going on, and she has this, and there's stuff between her and Falcone that's very interesting, very well woven, very Long Halloween-esque. I can't wait to see what you guys think of that. She's badass in this movie. I'm a martial artist. The type of kicks that this woman throws, I am literally terrified. The way she kicks, it's great. There's one scene where her and Batman are fighting, and Batman, being as badass as he is blocking all her moves. But they're still impressive because she's throwing these kicks. She's beating people up. She wants to commit murder. She's crazy. Awesome. This is the definitive Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz, we want you in the universe. We want more Catwoman as soon as possible. Make it happen, guys. It's absolutely incredible. I loved it. I thought she was great. Her chemistry with Pattinson, amazing. Love it. Alright, moving on. Jeffrey Wright playing James Gordon. Alright, so James Gordon in this movie, unlike previous versions of Gordon, this Gordon works directly with Batman. We're dealing with a Sherlock Holmes and Watson type of scenario. I scratch your back, you scratch my back, we work together. I'll help you solve this crime, we help each other out. Even though I'm a vigilante and you're a cop, we're working together. So Lieutenant James Gordon in this movie, Jeffrey Wright, once again, even though Gary Oldman was great, I like J.K. Simmons, this is the definitive Gordon. He has that, like, Murtaugh attitude from Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this shit, right? He's got that attitude. But he's also like, I can work with the Batman because this city's corrupt. The cops in this city are corrupt. And as the story unravels, you realize why he can trust Batman and not the cops. And it's kind of crazy. It kind of leads to some very interesting decisions, and Matt Reeves in general just makes that beautifully come to life. So Jeffrey Wright, definitive Gordon. Can't wait to see more. Hopefully the GCPD show gets picked up so we do indeed get to see that on HBO Max. It would be super awesome to see. So that's Gordon for us in a nutshell. Alright, next on the list, let's talk about Colin Farrell as the Penguin. The most unrecognizable character in this movie he's incredible. Like, he has transformed himself into the Penguin, not only physically looking, but this movie is so dark, but he adds a level of levity here, because he's playing this, like, Sopranos, like mobster. Like, take it easy, sweetheart. Don't forget to eat your meatballs right here, eh? Right? He's got that, like, straight up mobster feeling. But he's also intimidating. Like, hey, Vengeance, you think you can come after me? Yeah? You think you come after me, huh? You think you can mess with my mustache and come after me? No, you can't do that. See, I'm an Italian mobster. And so, the Penguin, right? So it's great, because I can't wait to see more of this dude. Because by the end of the movie, you start to see a new perspective of him, similar to Gotham. He starts kind of, working for other people, much like he does in Gotham, and then find his way on the top. And he's great. Super intimidating, badass, the Penguin we've always wanted. And of course, much like previous versions in this movie, it seems like every person in this movie is the definitive version of their character. And Penguin is no different. He's very definitive to it. He's very epic. I loved it. Can't wait to see his show, because Colin Farrell has described it's going to be pretty much a rated R HBO Max Penguin shooting people in the face with the umbrella and smoking cigars. I'm here for it, guys. I think it'll be great. Alright, so that's Penguin. Alright, now we've talked about every character except for the most important character in itself. And that is, we gotta talk about Robert Pattinson as Batman. How does this man stack up against countless other Dark Knights in our time? How does he live up to the hype? I will tell you this, okay? We do get scenes of him as Bruce Wayne, which we will talk about in a little bit. But first, before we talk about the Bruce Wayne bits, because there are very little, how great is this man as Batman? Now, there are people online that still will say, Ben Affleck's the best Batman, Michael Keaton, I can't wait to see him again, he was one of my favorite Batmans, and that's cool. It's cool you guys have your definitive Batman. This is coming from someone, not just a mainstream fan, this is coming from someone, a lover of Batman. A person who has loved Batman since Kevin Conroy's iteration of Batman, which is the GOAT Batman, the definitive Batman in all animation and video games that we know of. So without further ado, where is Robert Pattinson as Batman? Well, obviously I will do a ranking video so you can see how they all stack up, but I will tell you this. Robert Pattinson as Batman and Bruce Wayne is fucking brilliant in this movie. His acting, he acts with his eyes. There are scenes he doesn't even talk, and you just know. And him in the suit, the eye makeup, he has all the aspects. He's the greatest detective that we've always wanted to see. He's badass, filled with vengeance. He beats up criminals the way that no other Batman iteration has ever done. It's amazing. He is my Batman, guys. I will say Robert Pattinson is my definitive Batman, and he is the definitive Batman. And I cannot wait to see more of this character. Because this character goes from, I'm vengeance, to, he wants to do what's right, and he wants to become a hero. And help anyone in the best way he can. And Robert Pattinson, brilliant job, Oscar-worthy performance, loved it. It was fucking beautiful. And Bruce Wayne, there's some great scenes with him, even though he's not in it very much as Bruce Wayne, because it's more Batman. The Bruce Wayne stuff is cool because he gets to, interact with different people. You see Bruce Wayne, he's not the playboy. He's dead tired after running around as Batman every night. This Batman lives for the crusade. He's all about beating up criminals and serving justice. There ain't no time to go mess with some chicks and have some playboy antics. No, this Batman don't do that. This Batman and Bruce Wayne, they're very much two different people. And when he's during the day, he just lives the Bruce Wayne life, tries to do his best to survive, doesn't show up in public very often. But when he does that, people ask him questions. He just kind of gives them looks like, huh? Acting like he's stoned all the time. So, Matt Reeves channels that Kurt Cobain to a T, 100%. If you guys don't know, this was my most anticipated movie. So for this movie to deliver on all cylinders, which we're going to keep talking about, is incredible. It just blows my mind. It makes me so happy. I'm glad this movie delivered. And I'm going to talk about, in the end of the review, just how much this movie delivered for me in so many ways. But before we get there, we got to continue talking about everything else. Alright, so, yeah. Robert Pattinson's Batman, brilliant, amazing, violent, super great storytelling, great art. Thank you, Matt Reeves. He has amazing chemistry with everyone. Amazing chemistry with Falcone. Amazing chemistry with Penguin. His voice is the best Batman voice there's ever been. He's got great lines, great storytelling. The way he beats up criminals, beautiful, which we're going to get to when we talk about the action, because we got to talk about the action in a Batman movie. That just is a given. So that is absolutely amazing. There is just so much here that is just rich and to love, and it's just amazing. I love it. I love it all. Can't wait for more. Alright, now that we talked about him and we know how definitive he is, and we will do ranking lists for the characters as well, it is time to talk about the biggest and most important aspects of this film. The story, right? So it is a detective story, as I've told you, following the clues of the Riddler, and it's great. And because this is a non-spoiler review, we're not going to get into the details. Just know the story is fantastic. All right, cinematography is done by the same dude that did Dune, and holy fuck, is the cinematography amazing. There are scenes in this movie, the lighting, the aesthetic, it's all beautifully set. The tone is set, the music. Michael Giacchino, you have done amazing score. Once again, you crushed it. This was one, like, taking it like a champ amazingly. The action in this movie, when they said it was going to be like John Wick with a PG-13 rating, holy fuck is it like John Wick. Like, Batman's beating up people and being badass and throwing elbows and fuck, it was fucking crazy, man. This shit was awesome. Alright, guys, hope you guys enjoyed my review. Overall, guys, I love this movie. I can't wait to see it for my second time. That's right, I still haven't been for my second time, but on one viewing, I will say the Batman for me lived up to all the hype I wanted it to be. It's the Batman movie I waited for so long. It's incredible. It nails it on all cylinders. It is one of the best comic book movies of all time, in my opinion. And I will say the Batman gets a 10 out of 10 rating for me. It lived up to my hype as my most anticipated movie of the year. It did not disappoint. Everybody, go see the Batman as soon as you can. And if you liked what you saw here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. Thanks for watching.